Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about Microsoft Azure DDoS Protection Service. So DDoS Protection Service standard went GA recently, and I'll be talking about how you can get advantage of it and what it provides. So DDoS Protection Service is a most demanded service that's most demanded service by security concerned customers when they look at moving into Azure. So what it provides is basically same level of protection what Microsoft uses inside in their public SaaS solutions, like Microsoft Xbox Live and Office 365 services. So they bring that value or the same level of protection to the customers who host their workloads in Microsoft Azure. So what this will do is it applies on a virtual network level. So when you create and apply DDoS protection, you create a protection plan and you apply that in virtual network level. And what it will do is it will create it will protect all the Microsoft Azure public endpoints by using this service. So what it will do is it will continuously monitor all the traffic that flows through those public endpoints, and it will create a baseline based on the machine learning. It will get to know like how the normal traffic behaves in those public endpoints, and if there's any DDoS attacks detected, then it will cut all the direct traffic to the public endpoint, and it will redirect all the traffic through a scrubbing endpoint or a scrubbing engine that's hosted in multiple geographies in Azure. And in the scrubbing engine, it will do detailed analysis of the traffic, and then it will pick up all the non-genuine traffic, and it will block all those like DDoS attacks and all the non-genuine or the illegal traffic. It will block all those, and it will allow all the legitimate and genuine traffic. It will allow those to the endpoint, which is quite smart, and which is also provided as a service for you, which is very intelligent when it comes to the cloud. So the service comes with two level of services. The basic two tiers of services. One is the basic and one is standard. So the basic provides a service that's enabled by default for all the public endpoints in Azure. So you get it as default as part of the platform, and it's automatically enabled. And what it provides is it's for the protection of the Azure environment, and for your public endpoints, it provides layer 2 to 3 protection in your public endpoint, and also you don't have any customization. So it will do it will not do any specific machine learning on the endpoints. It will have some generic rules to say if it's a clear enough DDoS attack that he's seeing, then it will again go through the scrubbing engine, and it will block all the traffic, and it will usually block all the traffic to the public endpoint, and then you need to get in contact with the Microsoft Azure services customer service, and then let it go through. So that kind of thing. So if you're doing like testing and stuff like that, then you need to basically open up a support ticket and then do the DDoS testing and etc. So with the standard tier of DDoS protection, what you will basically get is more customizable a service, where you define all your public endpoints or the virtual networks, where you have all your public endpoints, and then it will do the custom per public endpoint. It will do custom baselining of how the traffic behaves and etc. Also, you can by affiliating it with Azure Application Gateway WAF service, you can get layer 7 protection as well, and also you can also get the full telemetry analytics and monitoring on those DDoS endpoints or the public endpoints, to see if there's any DDoS attacks happening at any stage of your public endpoints. So the cost, if you look at the cost, basically comes with two tiers. So the base tier is for free for sure, and the standard tier, it has a $370 US AUD as a fixed price that includes 100 resources, and anything more will have a $38 per resource per month fixed price. On top of that, it will be a data processing cost as well for any scrubbing activities that's happening. So that's pretty much the cost side of things. So before we get into anything, any more details, we'll go and have a look at how it's looking like when it's in real action. So first of all, I'm going to be creating a DDoS protection plan to apply or to enable DDoS protection in one of my virtual networks. So first of all, what you need to do is creating the DDoS protection plan, and then I'm going to be giving it a name, Azure West. And then I'm gonna create that in an existing virtual network, which I have already created for my DDoS stuff, and I'm gonna create that in Azure West. And then so this will be basically the billing plan. So this is where all your usage for Azure DDoS protection will be applied for. So if you can create you can create one plan and then assign it to multiple virtual networks as well, that's not a problem. So once that get created, we will see that it's appearing in here, and then you go to virtual networks, and then you select the virtual network that you want for the DDoS attacks. I'm gonna go with this one here. I have one public endpoint in that. I have one VM connected to that, and then I'm gonna go DDoS protection, and then I'm gonna go standard. And I'm going to select my DDoS protection plan, which I selected, and then click save. So this will enable DDoS protection for any public endpoint that is in this virtual network. So I have this virtual machine in this it's successfully updated. So if I go back to the overview in the same resource group, if you look at, then I have a public endpoint in here and a VM there. So that public endpoint address is if I take that address, and then if I open up let's go to a new tab. If I open up and then hit that public address of that VM, I have a simple IIS server configured and listening on port 80. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing DDoS protection on that public endpoint, and now have enabled DDoS protection. I'll see how the telemetry will look like as well. So let's go and have a look at the telemetry first, because that's where you'll be monitoring if there's any DDoS attacks in there, and then if there's any mitigation happening for DDoS protection. So how you look at the telemetry is you need to go to the Azure monitor, and then you need to go to the metrics, and then look at the public endpoint that you want to look at. So you select the resource group, and then you select the public endpoint that you want to go. So this is the public endpoint where my that website is hosted that I showed you. And if you look into any of the telemetry here, you will see change it to the past hour. That's the most granular you can go. And then if you look at that, then you will see the telemetry. As you can see now, I have already done some DDoS testing, and you can see there's some DDoS prevention is happening already, and then there's some DDoS protection or there's some DDoS actually happening. So when it triggers, or when it detects a DDoS protection, or when it detects a DDoS attack, then it turns on DDoS protection, and then it will keep it for a while before it turns it back off. And that's the behavior that you see in there. So you can see if you look at there's another telemetry to say if the endpoint is under attack or not, and then you can see it's going you can see it's actually nothing showing at the moment, but we will do some DDoS attacks simulations, and then we can see more telemetry of what's going on at the moment. So let's do some DDoS testing. So DDoS testing can be done using a site called breakpoint.cloud. So Microsoft has already partnered with Breakpoint to do the simulation. So once you create a free account, you'll get 100 GB of bandwidth to do the DDoS simulations and etc. And then you can add your subscriptions into this DDoS into this breakpoint site, and then you'll be eligible to do DDoS attacks from the site there onwards. So first of all, I need to pick up the public IP of the endpoint that I want to do the DDoS attack. So in this case, I have a different public IP address, and then I want to do a TCP SYN flood, and I do only 10 minutes, 100K attacks, and then that's going to be coming from 4 source IP addresses. So this is going to cost me this much of traffic, and then I'm going to be starting the test soon, and you will see. So it does the subscription validation first, and then it will start triggering the DDoS attack. And you will see in the endpoint if there's a DDoS attack or not, and also you will see SYN packets mitigation and etc. So if there's any DDoS attacks happening or anything like that, then you will see those in the telemetry here live. I'm gonna pause for a bit because it's gonna take some time, and once it gets the data, I'm gonna resume the video, and then I'm gonna explain how the data is looking like. Okay, now it hasn't been a while. I managed to get some DDoS attack triggered. So now let's first of all look at this telemetry. So under DDoS attack or not. So you can see now it's showing as 1, and then you can configure alerts based on this to see if any of your public endpoints is under attack or not. And so now it seems like we have successfully triggered a DDoS attack on this endpoint. And then if you look at how the data has behaved, so you can see TCP packets inbound, dropped inbound, and then forwarded, and etc. So you can see if you look at how much it's forwarded and how much it's dropped, so you can see once it detected a DDoS attack, it started dropping a lot of packets from using the telemetry. You can see that, and also you can see you can see it's what's triggered. So inbound packets to trigger DDoS mitigation is what you see in there. So once it started triggering, it will all look at all the traffic will be forwarded to the scrubbing engine, then it will do the detail analysis, and during the detail analysis it has detected that this is a DDoS attack, not legitimate traffic, and it's blocking. So like that, you can configure alerts to notify you and etc. And then you can protect all of your workloads that are in virtual networks, and then if you have multiple endpoints that are in this virtual network, then they will be protected using a baseline as well. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you, how the DDoS attacks are simulated and protected. So you can see that's near to the end of the DDoS attack in here. And yeah, so that's what you basically get. Thanks for watching this video, and hope to give you another video later on.